Hi everyone.
Hi.
Thank you for each and everyone to be participating in this short reflection about what we have been went out and started about different things and why we were working on this project. I think each and everyone enjoyed in working on Guess Who is Coming to Dinner project.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. You know, each and everyone, for regarding the instructions, each and everyone were assigned to work on two food cultures and working on his or her own culture.
Yeah.
Yes? And this is the time to just sharing out what the experience you gain, what the findings, what your findings, and so that you can enjoy the specific things you have been learning.
Yeah.
Starting from Alicia, can you tell us?
I was assigned to work on two food culture and to work on my own culture. So two food culture that I was working on is Hindu wedding food and Pennsylvania Dutch cuisine. In Hindu, they like to like in their wedding ceremony, they like to use rice and coconut as the most food to be used in their wedding ceremony. So rice is used where it is done as a game where it is used where rice is thrown on bridegroom and bridegroom throw into a bride. And this symbolized in their culture, symbolized fertility. It symbolized that they will be rich. And this game also symbolized that a person who will dominate in their relationship. And they use coconut, where coconut is pressed in the hand of bride, and bride give it to a bridegroom, and this symbolizes that wedding is going to be blessed. And in Pennsylvania, that cuisine, I saw that in Pennsylvania, Pennsylvania Dutch, it is a culture that was brought by Germany, where they were migrating in the United States like 18th and 19th centuries. And in Pennsylvania, they like to use like traditional things, like they used to cook foods using firewood, and they like to cook like chicken corn soup. This is the kind of food that they like to cook in the period of harvest. When they harvest corn, they like to cook this kind of food. And yeah, that's all about the Pennsylvania and Hindu. So the culture I was also assigned to work on my own culture, and in Munyamasisi, and from DRC, and the Wanyamasisi mostly they like to keep cows in like a big farm, and like they like to make together cows as the symbol of unity, and they like to eat rice. They like to eat like cornbread, and they like to eat using hands. And there is an event that mostly in Wanyamasisi like to use the time of birth child. They like to when a mother has given birth, neighbors brought milk to symbolize that they are happy with the new child, and to encourage her to increase family. So that's a symbol of like that milk. And when there is a newborn child, the neighbor children come in that family, and they like to share food as a symbol of giving the new name of that new children. Like that culture is called Ubunyano in Kinyarwanda. Yeah, that's it. That's a good thing that those people like Banyamsisi use. So that's all about my culture, and that's an event.
Yeah, thank you, Alicia. You know, I've been interested in hearing all about the food culture and your own culture. I was interested in understanding the different activities that they have, different kind of food consumed, and all the significance on their culture. Yes. I think it is time to ask you some questions about what you care about. Yes. Kevin, do you have any question about?
As you said, me too, I enjoyed listening from you, sharing about what you did. So, Yeah, I'm having like one question.
Yeah.
Could you please help us to find out the relationship between the culture you worked on and your own culture? So,
Yeah, thank you. The relationship, I'm going to give you similarities
Yeah.
between them and
Yeah.
differences
Yeah.
to help you have more understanding. So, similarities, the food culture that I worked on, in Hindu, they use rice. Rice, and also in our culture, in Wanyamasisi, we like to use rice. So that's like a similarity that between food culture and my culture. So difference, corn, Wanyamasisi used to eat cornbread, using cornbread, and in Pennsylvania, corn used to make soap.
yeah.
To make soap, so those are things that are different. So
yeah.
that is a difference between
Yes.
the elves. So
Yeah.
that's all.
Thank you, Alicia, for answering to Kevin's question. But I also have another question
Yeah.
for you. So, what draws you out to go and doing research and acting as an anthropologist? Yes,
Yeah.
going out and study about different cultures and different rituals and different traditions. So, what draws you out to go and study and learn more about
Yeah,
that?
thank you. As an anthropologist, we never know.
Yeah.
Maybe I can live here in my country and go in another country. So it's a good opportunity to me to know different cultures and to know how things are going on in different cultures. So this will help me in my daily life, in my lifetime, where I be going different parts of the world, or this will help me to know different culture, to know how I can behave in such society, and to know the meaning of different kind of food and what how they work. So
Yeah, so in other words, it will help you just adapt to other societies in the
of
world.
course.
So
Yeah.
thank you. So we can, I think the floor is for Kevin.
Yeah.
Okay.
Kevin is ready.
Yeah, as you said before, me too, I enjoyed working with you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, so me too, I worked on two cultures and my own culture as well.
Yeah.
So, starting on two cultures I worked on, the first one is Ringit potlatch.
Yeah.
This culture is found in northwest coast. And something especially fun about this culture is how they take every living thing. For them, any living thing, either plants, persons, animals, are having equal value in front of them. That is special and unique. I've never seen it in other cultures. However, something that has made potlatch, Trinity potlatch to be known all over the world, to grow, is potlatches. Yeah, potlatches is the occasion given by a given family to expose their status. For example, if there is something good that has happened in a family, like giving birth, like marrying a son, and they invite people to join them and expose that, like moving from one step to the other. That potlatch have made people from Trinity to be known all over the world. So in Trinity culture, they share different kind of food. Some of them are forced many meals. So, and in their tradition, they have to serve a lot of candid food that people can finish. If they are serving you, they have to make sure that you eat and you leave some leftovers. Yeah, you don't have to finish it. So this symbolize for them, and they also they pack for you when you're going back. They pack for you some other food to take home. So this symbolize generosity, being generous to their people, which shows us in their respect. Okay, the second culture I worked on is delegating football game. This also is played in United States, where people get together, especially youth, and they share drinks and food, especially about drinks, they share alcohol. So yeah, and they drink together, they eat together, they share, they have fun all together. So this means a lot in their culture because it's a good opportunity for people to show love to each other and enjoy together. So, as in myself also about the culture, which is related specifically on the part of hosting guests. So I'm going to share with you what they serve guests and what does that done in our culture. Okay, for guests, when they have some guests, they serve milk. Milk is something important and valuable in Banyamulenge culture because when someone gives you milk, it symbolizes respect, symbolizes love. So, and actually, the milk has to be served by feminine sex, I mean women and girls. So that's some tradition for them. And also, they have to find someone to sit next to you, talk to you, ask you yes, how do you feel, things like that. So, and when you go back, they accompany you. So, and they wish again to come back again. So, which is something good and unique that I found in Banyamulenge culture. Okay, so about the similarities, what I found out is that for all three cultures that I work on, everything they do good is done for people to have fun, for people to show each other love, to show each other respect. So it was interesting to learn from them. So guys, if you have question,
yes, it was so interesting. So, but Kevin, I have one question to ask you. Yes. I was interested in hearing how the Banyamulenge they accompany you and they serve you milk when you can. And so my question is this. Yes, it's your country. You learn about your country. But also, I would like to know. So, as an anthropologist, I say an anthropologist who's doing some experiment to observe and learning cultures different in your community. So, what is the methodology, the specific methodology have you used to get some information?
That's interesting, man. I forgot to mention it. I have used observation method. Okay, for tourism. First, when you are observing people, you don't need to ask them. Actually, you learn from what you observe. There is no bias. There is no exaggeration, because simply what you see is what you decide upon. You decide upon what you see. The second reason is that sometimes people are not open to talk about themselves, to talk about something they own themselves. So that's why I have decided to use observation.
Thank you.
So I have another simple question. I hear you telling us the similarities between your food culture that you work on and your own culture. So I would like you to tell us differences that you see.
As I said on 20th culture, they pack for you for some food to take back home, which is really good, but for us we don't. We simply serve you and give you and accompany you, but we don't pack.
I think I don't have any question for my side, except if Alicia has some question.
No, I have a question.
Okay, I think my floor is mine. Yes, the floor is mine now. So you guys have been working on two food culture, which is Japanese rice and Hawaiian poi, and I was really interested in knowing how those foods are consumed, what meant or what are the significant to the cultures of those people from those countries, and I really enjoyed it anyway. So starting from Japanese rice, in Japan they take rice as significant to their culture because the rice support their life, and even they name it gohan. On every lunch they are going to on the breakfast. They use gohan and and to show that without rice there is no life in Japan. So they also consume another kind of food, which is called ramen noodle. And ramen noodle, I think most of you know it is known as macaroni. Yes, macaroni. The ramen noodles, it is something that is made from wheat, and from the time when they're consuming the ramen noodles, they help us to just reflect on how they have been doing with the Americans in the Cold War. So when they were there, they used to just produce the wheat and transform them into ramen noodles and consume that, yes. And going to the next food culture, which was Hawaiian poi, and this is a kind of stick food. It is made, you know, all of you know something that is yam, you know it? Yams.
We do.
The yams, the taro, the Hawaiian poi are made in taro roots. Algunas seems like the yams, the difference between there seems like the taro roots have some like small red colors inside, and this is a traditional food consumed there in Hawaii, and this is used especially when they have festivals, and this is symbolized like the unity and just helping them to avoid their culture to fade away. Yes. And I also worked on my own culture, and I worked on Bandani culture we moved it from Congo. And guys, something that interested me in learning about my culture is about how they celebrate and how they enjoy their New Year. I go out and I stayed with like 6 men and 6 women, and I tried just to make some interview and group discussion, discussing how they feel about this day, what kind of foods, what does food mean to their culture, and they told me that at this day we feel grateful. This is we celebrate for the beginning of a new year, which is full of blessings. So we end with the last year, which was made with evils and things like that. And then at this day, so all of the families, we go to the church and we pray. We spend the whole day there without coming home to eat. And after they leaving the church, all the families will meet together and they share rice, they share meat. Then I was interested to know why do they use rice and why do they use meat. And they told me that we use meat because our ancestors used to hunt and eat what they hunt. And I was really interested. I understand that also their culture, it's from our culture. And I get out and ask them, so why do you use rice in this ceremony? Yes, and they told me that we use rice because our ancestors used to eat rice, because rice gives them strength that enables them to go and hunt and get food. So that was in comparing the two food cultures with my own culture. I find that both they use rice when they are celebrating, and when they are celebrating the great days they had. So, for instance, if they get enrollment, if they're celebrating New Year, for instance, in Japan, so it is a culture and it is common. It is uncommon to find the Japanese not eating rice. So that's the difference. They use rice in their everyday life. And about the differences, I find that some people, for instance, in Japan, it is unusual to eat any meal without rice. In Hawaiian, it is unusual to eat food without poi. In our culture, it is like unusual to have the beginning of the year without eating meat. So that's the difference. So even though all of them they meet on using rice, but also they share like specific traditional food that they share. Yes.
Thank you, Abraham, for sharing with us. But I've got one question first.
Welcome.
So, you told us that in the end of the year in your culture, people gather together and share food. You mean all people, men, women, children, all of them come together and share food?
Yeah, thank you, Kevin, for that interesting question. So, I was more interested in knowing how just they meet together. I was wondering before that maybe women get there, children there, and men there, but I realized that after talking to them, they say that either you are a man, either you are a woman, or a child, yes,
Yeah.
after leaving the church, we meet all together. This symbolizes the unity and sharing the harvest we got from the first year. And they will share all of they have for the year and feel happy, they drink, they celebrate, they dance.
Yeah.
Then they go home, they go to sleep. Yeah.
Interesting.
So, another simple question.
Yes.
What methodology did you use to, to get all those useful information?
Thank you, Alicia, for this question anyway. So, for being an anthropologist, you have to identify some specific method you have to use so that you can get some data or results. So, the method that I choose to use two methods: interview and focus group discussion. So the reason why I choose interview, some people feel shame and feel like they're not comfortable to share information while they're in a big group. Yes, I selected a group of people, and I reach out and I give them an appointment, and I reach out to one so that we can have like a short discussion and ask the same questions. Why do you consume this? How do you feel about this?
Yeah.
And I go out and I do focus group discussion where I give them an appointment, we meet together and we share out. I ask those questions to hear the different understandings, how each and every one will give him or her reasons about this day. Yes? Yeah.
So?
Thank you, guys. I've been sharing out. So this is the time for drawing the common big similarities about all the cultures we have been learning as a group.
Yeah.
And the big common differences we have been experiencing. Starting from myself, I can find that actually in all cultures and food cultures, all those things, they have a specific day, they feel grateful, and they use a specific kind of food, and that means that makes sense, and they have like significance to their culture. That is the difference, the similarities that I've been able to identify. So
Great. Yeah. For me also, it's like clear that all people in the world are having like something unique, but they can use different things, they can use different kind of food, but still it stick on something of showing love, something of showing like sharing, enjoying, having fun.
Yeah.
Because all of those food, different kind of food, even ourselves, on what we learned on ourselves, has come back and stick on love, having to improve the relationship with one people.
yeah. So
Yeah.
Alicia, can you share with us like differences?
That's all. Differences.
Yes.
Differences. There are some countries that use such kind of food, use rice in cooking, and other use rice in throwing food. It's something that is different to throw rice, and other use rice in eating. So that's something that is different.
Yeah, to supplement on your thought. Anyway, it depends. The culture varies from country to country.
Yeah.
So that's why from Japan they eat, from tittling they do something else, from the Hindu they throw. So that's the difference.
Yeah.
So this is the end of our today's session and reflection about the overall project. I thank you guys for your kindness. And I hope and I wish you all the blessings and lucky and as you move forward to complete your CFI project.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Great day.